Very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the current affairs class. I hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to cover 6th Feb current affairs. 6th February we are going to cover, and at the end, of course, top 5 MCQs. So let's begin with the session. First, in the ESI Finance and Business News category, what do we have is regarding public sector banks' performance. So this can be somewhat important. Not all the figures are important. You need to remember the most important ones, 2-3 figures out of them. PSBs, public sector banks, they have shown strong performance in April-December. So one parameter, each parameter's data can be important, remember. Now, it is saying PSBs have shown good performance, strong performance in April to December time frame of financial year 24-25. April to December 24-25 mein they have performed well. So let's see what are the indicators. First thing, net profit growth. If you look at their net profit growth, how much PSB's net profit have grown? So growth of 31.3% year-on-year basis. And remember, this is highest ever aggregate net profit of rupees 1,29,426 crores. So this can be important. If you can remember, just go through it 2-3 times. Remember, highest ever aggregate net profit. PSBs का अभी तक का aggregate net profit जो है highest among them all. So this figure can be relevant. This is about net profit growth. Then next, net NPA FEC. NPA PSBs have been performing before say 2-3 years or 2-3 years back. NPA was a grave issue, particularly coming from the public sector banks. You all know that. But in the recent time, GNPA and net NPA both have declined for PSBs, which is a good indicator, which shows that the loans are of good quality. Right, risk perception, risk assessment is better, and the loans are coming back. So assets are basically performing in nature. Net NPA is 0.59%, which is quite less than the previous levels. So net NPA भी आप याद रख सकते हैं. This figure can be important. Net NPA ratio 0.59%. Then aggregate business काफी लो है net NPA, और ये अच्छा इंडिकेटर है. Net and gross NPA, there's a difference between them. I hope you all must be knowing that. Gross NPA basically includes the provision which banks make against the risky assets. जो provision risky assets के against रखते हैं bank, that amount is also included in gross NPA. But then we deduct that amount from gross NPA, it gives you net NPA. So net NPA is more real indicator of your assets performance, right? What you actually hold in terms of your assets in non-performing assets. So net NPA हो गया. Then aggregate business, overall business has also witnessed growth with improved aggregate deposit growth. So PSBs have witnessed improved aggregate deposit growth. This can be important, 9.8%. Deposits PSBs के improve हुए हैं, ठीक है? Then credit growth is also important, 12.4%. That means credit extension done by these public sector banks, it has been improving. So quite good this is. And what has been the reason? If you look at the reasons, first of all, retail credit growth has improved 16.6%. तो जो overall credit growth आई है आपके PSBs में, major contribution is coming from your retail credit growth. This distribution is something which you can remember. Out of the entire credit growth in PSBs, what has contributed maximum, right? So maximum contribution is coming from retail growth segment. Then second is agricultural credit growth. Agricultural credit growth भी improve हुआ है, that is quite good. And third is MSME credit growth. तो ये तीनों आपको ध्यान रखना है. तीनों के फिगर आप ना ध्यान रखें चलेगा, but distribution should be important. So remember, PSB's credit growth 12.2% का 12.4%, which has improved. 3 contributions. First, maximum contribution, retail loan segment. Second, agriculture loan. And third is MSME. Retail, agriculture and MSME, remember. And also adequate capital they have maintained. Capital requirements, जो भी regulatory requirements है, उनसे ऊपर रहा है. So basically, capital adequacy ratio has been higher than the regulatory minimum. This is the thing. Now, next news, moving on to next one, which is Zomato. Now, Zomato is to change its name as Eternal Limited. Remember. So this is going to be there. Zomato has decided to change its corporate identity and it will now be known as Eternal Limited. Eternal Limited. Zomato's new name, Eternal Limited. Why they are changing this? Because they are saying that we are not only in one segment, we are not only in food delivery. So they have expanded their scope like Blinkit and District and Hyperpure in सबके through. That's why they want to expand the scope of their brand name as well, Eternal Limited. ये ध्यान रखना है आपको. Then moving on to banking section. Banking section. You have Indian Overseas Bank. Indian Overseas Bank has become a signatory of Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials, PCAF. Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials. Now, what is this PCAF? सबसे पहले you need to remember its extension, Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials. ये partnership is a global initiative where your financial institutions, they try to be accountable towards their carbon emission. Whatever projects they are financing, what is the performance in terms of sustainable development of those projects, right? So this is the global initiative that helps financial institution measure and disclose their carbon emissions associated with their financing activities. Financial institutions projects को finance करते हैं. वो projects, suppose किसी infrastructure project के लिए आपने loan दिया. Now these projects, how much carbon emissions they are doing, right? So this framework says that you should be selective in your financing. You should be promoting financing of those projects which are sustainable, which are eco-friendly, which are emitting less of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So this is the purpose. So recently, remember, this is very important fact, Indian Overseas Bank has also become a signatory to this. That means Indian Overseas Bank भी अब अपने financing की sustainability track करेगा. Right? And यहाँ पर one more thing you need to remember is, first Indian bank to join this framework was Union Bank of India. These are two important facts coming from here. This can be asked, remember, which was the first Indian bank to join this PCAF framework? So first Indian bank was Union Bank of India and recently it has been joined by Indian Overseas Bank. Both the things you need to remember. The next we have South Indian Bank unveils startup current accounts for entrepreneurs. So South Indian Bank, the South Indian Bank, it has unveiled, it has introduced two specialized startup current accounts. अब देखो different types of accounts we have. You have saving account. Generally the accounts we maintain, the households maintain are savings account, जिस पे आपको interest भी मिलता है depending on the terms and conditions, right? Then you have fixed deposit, जिसमें there's a lock-in period. Then you have current account. Current account is generally used for business purposes. So this is kind of a business account. Got this point? Current account के typical features हैं, like business में what you require is day-to-day transaction. That too in a huge amount. Current account या businesses को क्या चाहिए? They need to have transactions, daily transactions होते हैं और वो भी huge amount में होते हैं. So current account are made in such a way they have a good day-to-day transaction limit and a lot of other benefits. यहाँ पर आपको saving account की तरह interest नहीं मिलता क्योंकि ये particularly business transactions के लिए बनाए जाते हैं, right? So इस type के जो current account है, specifically startup culture is growing. So startups के लिए the South Indian Bank has introduced two special current accounts. Right? First is SIB Business Startup Current Account and second is SIB Corporate Startup Current Account. Okay? SIB Business Startup Current Account, SIB Corporate Startup Current Account. So that it can facilitate the requirements of these growing startups. Lot of benefits, as I told you, will be offered to simplify their banking and business activities. Like key features if you talk about, Eligibility and key features. So eligibility में account holders they must have incorporation or registration not older than 3 years. This is basic eligibility criteria. You have been incorporated as a startup, as a corporation, not older than 3 years. Then you are eligible. Then typical features, if you see, zero minimum balance. For 3 years, there is no minimum balance requirement. Business के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. Unlimited free RTGS NEFT transactions through digital channels. Premium debit card with airport lounges. तो यहाँ पर these kind of services are being provided, right? No minimum balance, remember. RTGS NEFT transactions बहुत important है businesses के लिए, ठीक है? RTGS NEFT very very important. तो यहाँ पर अनलिमिटेड है, उस पर कोई लिमिट नहीं है कि आप कितने आरटीजीएस या नेफ्ट ट्रांजैक्शन कर सकते हैं अपने अकाउंट से, या एक दिन में 2 दिन में कितने कर सकते हैं. डिजिटल चैनल से आरटीजीएस नेफ्ट अनलिमिटेड होगा. प्रीमियम डेबिट कार्ड भी इसके साथ आपको ऑफर किया जाएगा. एयरपोर्ट लाउंजेस वगैरह की फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड की जाएगी. सो दीज आर दी टिपिकल फीचर्स. देन मूविंग ऑन टू नेशनल न्यूज. नेशनल न्यूज में द फर्स्ट न्यूज वी हैव इज यूनियन मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh has stated that latest version 2 of SARAT offers Indian search and rescue agencies improved efficiency, faster response. So basically SARAT का नया version हमने लेकर आया है. What is first of all SARAT? What is SARAT and what is the purpose? And then you will be able to understand the version, next version, that is SARAT 2.0. So you need to remember the extension यहाँ पर, okay? Remember the full form of SARAT. Full form of SARAT is Search and Rescue Aid Tool. Very short and sweet extension, short and sweet full form. So remember SARAT stands for Search and Rescue Aid Tool. Search and Rescue Aid Tool. Now this is version 2. First of all, what is the Search and Rescue Aid Tool? The Search and Rescue Aid Tool was launched in 2016. It helps in rescuing and search operations in missing objects. तो जितने भी आपके मिसिंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं ओशन वगैरह में, उन सब के सर्च और रेस्क्यू में हेल्प करता है. दिस इज द पर्पस. सी रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशंस में हेल्प करता है. सी रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन ओशन वाटर्स में whatever item person is missing, it helps you in rescue and search operations. This is the technology SARAT stands for. So new version has been upgraded by the government. It would improve our search efficiency, faster response, and then higher success rate in search and rescue operations. जितने भी हमारे search and rescue operations होते हैं, उनकी success rate को improve करेगा. और इसको किसने अपग्रेड किया है, that can also be important. So it has been upgraded by INCOIS, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, under Ministry of Earth Sciences. Remember, INCOIS, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, under Ministry of Earth Sciences. So this was about SARAT, Search and Rescue Aid Tool. Then next is a very species specific campaign, which is Shatavari for Better Health, has been launched. Shatavari for Better Health. Shatavari क्या है? आयुर्वेदिक species है. Basically it has been launched by the Minister Pratap Rao Jadhav, Ministry of Ayush, independent charge. What is Shatavari for Better Health? Shatavari is a herb. इसके medicinal uses हैं. It has lot of benefits in the body. Ayurvedic herb है basically. It helps you in improving immunity and simultaneously gain weight effectively, right? गुड वेट जिसको हम बोलते हैं, गुड फैट. सो शतावरी इम्यूनिटी वगैरह के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. इट हेल्प्स यू इन इम्प्रूविंग योर इम्यून सिस्टम. सो दैट्स व्हाई शतावरी कैंपेन हैज बीन लॉन्च्ड. इट हैज अ लॉट ऑफ हेल्थ बेनिफिट्स. दिस इज अ मेडिसिनल प्लांट. Then next news is Jayant Chaudhary, Minister of State, independent charge, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, has inaugurated NSDC International Academy, Greater Noida, UP. So this NSDC International Academy at Greater Noida has been inaugurated. This is state-of-the-art facility for ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स, स्किल डेवलपमेंट. सो बेसिकली एनएसडीसी क्या है, स्किल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम के लिए ही है ये. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी एन अकेडमी प्रोवाइडिंग अपस्किलिंग कोर्सेज, training programs, etc. It will empower the youth in foreign languages as well, so that they can get international career opportunities. Then next is ENAM. ENAM you all must be knowing, Electronic National Agricultural Market. ENAM का concept क्या है? See, earlier what used to happen is there are something called APMCs, APMC mandis. You all must be knowing about APMC, right? APMC mandi hoti hai. So there is this mechanism. Farmers, they have grown their crops, they bring it to APMCs. APMCs में लाइसेंस मिलता है and then APMCs के थ्रू बाकी छोटी छोटी मंडियों में it goes, right? But APMCs, it has been a mechanism. If you ask a farmer, it is the worst place for them existing on the earth. Not exaggerating anything, right? They charge them fees. They do not offer them any good facilities. So also, then certain commissions and, intermediaries, middlemen, all these things, they happen. So to eliminate this requirement, eliminate the exploitation of farmers, provide them direct market access to traders, ENAM was launched. ENAM is not like you directly purchase from the farmers. ENAM is in bulk, farmers will be able to sell it to traders. उसके लिए APMC में जाना, अलग से फीस सब देने की जरूरत नहीं है. This is the basic mechanism of ENAM. I hope you have understood. So ENAM में, ENAM platform has expanded to boost agricultural trade with the addition of 10 new commodities. Whatever commodities they have been allowed to be traded on ENAM, 10 new commodities have been added into the list. Okay, 10 new commodities have been added into the tradable parameters. Not all, but remember at least these names. Dried tulsi leaves, very important for immunity. Besan, dragon fruit and wheat flour. These 4 commodities at least remember. 10 new commodities have been added, but आपको इतना ध्यान रखना है, ठीक है? So dried tulsi leaves, besan, dragon fruit and wheat flour. With this, total number of commodities presently to be traded or which are tradable on the ENAM platform stands to be, remember, 231. ENAM platform pe, with this addition, including these additions, total commodities, this can be important figure, remember, total commodities which at present can be traded via ENAM platform is 231. Right? Remember. The next news is coming from TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. TRAI ने अभी recently you see lot of frauds are happening, lot of spam calls are coming, है ना? People trying to befool and manipulate the customers. So given this situation and rise in number of complaints, TRAI has come up with a good decision to improve national numbering plan. National numbering plan. Now with this, it will help identify telecom users, services and devices. तो यहाँ पर for this improvement, what are the recommendations they have provided? First recommendation, 10-digit numbering system for landline phones, similar to mobile numbers. मोबाइल नंबर्स हमारे कितने डिजिट के होते हैं? 10 डिजिट. लैंडलाइन पे जो कॉल आएगा, लैंडलाइन नंबर्स विल ऑल्सो बी 10 डिजिट. दिस इज फर्स्ट रिकमेंडेशन. रिमेंबर, अब से the landline number would be 10-digit numbering system. It would be 10-digit numbering system, remember. And also, all landline to landline calls will require dialing 0 before the number. 10 digit होगा और landline से landline call जो होगा उसमें 0 you will have to dial before it. Right? So remember these recommendations. Landline के लिए इन्होंने लाया है और 6 months का time frame दिया है to implement this. Remember, 10-digit number for landline and landline to landline calls में 0 will be dialed first. इससे देखते हैं how much efficiency they bring in terms of eliminating the spam calls. So remember, 6 months timeline has been provided to telecom service providers to implement this change. Also, very importantly, Very importantly, you cannot miss upon this. TRAI has recommended telecom companies to quickly roll out calling name presentation service. Now I am telling you, remember, write it down separately. इसका full form बहुत important हो सकता है, right? CNAP. They can ask you, what does this letter stands for in this kind of questions. So calling name presentation service. Write it down separately. Calling name presentation service. They can ask you. This is going to be great initiative. It will display caller's name. आपके पास सेव हो ना हो, जहां से भी कॉल आ रहा है उसका नाम एटलीस्ट डिस्प्ले हो जाएगा, राइट? सो इट विल डिस्प्ले कॉलर्स नेम. ऑल्सो one more guideline. So remember CNAP, calling name presentation service. Calling name presentation. Another important recommendation given by TRAI is if the mobile number stays deactivated until 90 days, तब तक deactivate नहीं करना है. Yeah, but if say number stays inactive for the full year after these 90 days, then it can be deactivated. Generally, आप लोगों के पास भी बहुत सारे ऐसे calls आए होंगे. If some number which you possess, some mobile number, you have not recharged it. For example, you are using some other SIM or number for that purpose. They are constantly calling you. They are telling you that if you don't recharge, it will be deactivated. In that context, TRAI has said 90 days tak, up to 90 days, if it does not, or more than 90 days, if it remains deactivated, you do not have to deactivate it. If it is not in use, you cannot deactivate it. But say entire year अगर वो use में नहीं आता है, more than 90 days तक का तो time आपको दिया ही है. Entire year, if it is not in usage, then you can deactivate it. So this was the guideline from TRAI. Then next is GMR Airports Limited. GMR Airports Limited has joined United Nations Global Compact. GMR Airports ने जो इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एयरपोर्ट्स ऑपरेटर है, इन्होंने ज्वाइन किया है यूनाइटेड नेशंस ग्लोबल कॉम्पैक्ट. ठीक है. व्हाट इज दिस इनिशिएटिव? दिस इज फॉर सस्टेनेबल बिजनेसेस प्रैक्टिसेस. विद द ज्वाइनिंग इनटू दिस, they will be expanding their sustainable business practices. Okay, aligning with the UN laws on environment, human rights, anti-corruption, labor standards, etc. to ensure all these things they are intact. Nothing else is important here. Then moving on to state news. State news में first is Delhi International Leather Expo. So Council for Leather Exports will be organizing this Delhi International Leather Expo from 20 to 21 February in Delhi, Yashobhumi, Dwarka. Okay, the expo will be conducted, and council, this particular council for leather exports, it has certain targets. This target can be important. The council targets to achieve $47 billion by 2030 with a special focus on footwear and leather exports. Footwear and leather exports say they want to raise $47 billion by 2030. So this can be important because of the conclave being in news. $47 billion by 2030. Also, the basic customs duty on wet blue leather, it has been reduced. What is basic customs duty? Customs duty is when you import something, you have to pay it, right? So an importer has to pay it when you are importing something. Now, this wet blue leather is kind of a raw material, basic material used in leather industry. Is pe custom duty, if it has been reduced, that would mean now it is going to be somewhat cost effective, so that leather manufacturers can use it properly, can afford it, and can produce more of the goods and can export it. This is the purpose, right? Because a lot of MSMEs are also associated with leather business. To support MSMEs and all, this has been started. The next is Majhi launches Biksit Gaon, Biksit Odisha campaign. So Odisha Chief Minister Mohan Charan Majhi has launched this initiative, Bikshit Gaon, Bikshit Odisha, Viksit basically in the pure Hindi language. So this is going to be infrastructure development project in the state where rural areas will be in focus. For it, the government has allocated 5,000 crores budget for 5 years, 1,000 crores for 24-25. Critical areas like electricity, connectivity, civic amenities, they will be working upon. The next news is Election Commission of India has introduced Chandrayaan se Chunav Tak. Election Commission of India has introduced Chandrayaan se Chunav Tak futuristic initiative in West Delhi to boost voter awareness and participation. वोटर अवेयरनेस एंड पार्टिसिपेशन को बूस्ट करने के लिए एक कैंपेन इलेक्शन कमीशन ने लॉन्च किया है, चंद्रयान से चुनाव तक. रिमेंबर, international news, let's talk about. First is US President Donald Trump has signed an executive order imposing sanctions on the International Criminal Court, accusing it of illegitimate and baseless actions targeting America and its close ally Israel. So basically now what is happening in US, you all know that a very drastic shift in terms of international political stance, है ना, kind of protectionist policy they are trying to follow. So they are trying to close their economy and boundaries. With this regard, the US President has accused International Criminal Court of being illegitimate in terms of lot of decisions. That is just the thing here, nothing else is important. The next is Southern Hemisphere's largest Hindu temple has been unveiled at Johannesburg, South Africa. It has been inaugurated. Southern Hemisphere's largest Hindu temple, which is part of BAPS Multicultural Center. Okay, so this is important, remember. कहां पर southern hemisphere का, you have the earth divided with an imaginary line, equator, हमने उसको 0 degree latitude से we have divided it into northern and southern hemisphere. Southern Hemisphere का largest Hindu temple it is going to be where? Johannesburg, South Africa. तो location आपको यहाँ पर याद रखनी है. Remember, Johannesburg, South Africa. Then next again, Trump pulls US from human rights. Just a second. Human Rights Council. अभी आप देखो ये सारी policies US से निकल के आ रही हैं, है ना? So now they have pulled out themselves from the Human Rights Council as well. Also, the UNRWA, these agencies, they are providing humanitarian aid to Palestinians. So US will stop funding UNRWA as well. So this kind of decision is there. ये थोड़ी सी political news है. You not need to go into depth into this. Then next is Dubai will be hosting inaugural Global Justice Love and Peace Summit. So this can be important, remember, from April 20 to 13, 2025. The Global Justice Love and Peace Summit is going to be hosted by whom? It is going to be hosted by Dubai. Remember the location first of all. Dubai में होगा and it is going to be organized by the I Am Peacekeeper movement. Theme would be One Planet, One Voice, Global Justice, Love and Peace. Theme इसका बहुत important है, remember. Theme would be important for this. One Planet, One Voice, Global Justice, Love and Peace. Lot of people will be participating. Peacekeepers, speakers, Nobel laureates, world leaders, etc. पीस कीपर्स क्या होता है? आपका यूनाइटेड नेशंस जो है, wherever there are conflicts in the regions, United Nations aids you by sending peacekeeping missions, right? So if in a particular country there is some political tension, warlike situation is going on, after it ceases or ends, peacekeeping missions are sent. So peacekeeping is kind of that initiative to restore peace in the area. Then talking about MOUs, the CDAC Noida and LEGO Group have collaborated to boost indigenous electronics toy industry ecosystem. टॉय इंडस्ट्री, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक टॉय इंडस्ट्री इकोसिस्टम के लिए दिस हैज बीन साइन. नेक्स्ट वन इज HCL Tech and ChargePoint. HCL Tech and ChargePoint have signed MOU to set up advanced research and development center for charge points in Bengaluru. चार्ज पॉइंट्स के रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट के लिए. देन मदरसन पार्टनर्स विद जापान सैंको, दे हैव साइंड MOU टू प्रोवाइड सस्टेनेबल पैकेजिंग सॉल्यूशंस. पैकेजिंग, see, we are constantly focusing on having substitutes for plastic and all, so kind of sustainable packaging solutions they will be providing to India and European countries. Then next, talking about mergers and acquisitions, only one we have, Indus to buy towers from Airtel and Hexacom. So telecom infrastructure firm, you know, Indus Towers, telecom infrastructure firm hai, which provides you telecom infrastructure like towers and all. So this Indus Towers, it will be acquiring mobile sites. अपनी ही parent firm Bharti Airtel and Bharti Hexacom से. So it will be acquiring these mobile sites of its parent firm only, Bharti Airtel and Bharti Hexacom. Then next is Science Tech. Science Tech में you have ISRO has launched FEAST 2025. This is going to be important. What does FEAST stands for? FEAST stands for Finite Element Analysis of Structures Software. FEAST का full form you need to remember. This is important. I'm telling you again. Okay. So FEAST stands for Finite Element Analysis of Structures Software. Finite Element Analysis of Structures. What is this? Let's look at it. Very importantly, who has developed this software? इसको डेवलप किसने किया है? विक्रम साराभाई स्पेस सेंटर. It has been developed by Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Now, can anyone tell me where is this headquartered at? Vikram Sarabhai Space Centers का headquarters कहाँ है? Where is it headquartered at? Anyone? So remember, this software has been developed by Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, and this Vikram Sarabhai Space Center is headquartered at Thiruvananthapuram. Okay. Also the LPSC, Liquid Propulsion Space Center, जो है, both of them are situated at Thiruvananthapuram. They are very, very significant. Recently, continuously they have been in news. So remember, both of them are headquartered at Thiruvananthapuram. Okay. No, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center is VSSC is at Thiruvananthapuram, not Ahmedabad. Okay. तो ये FEAST इन्होंने डेवलप किया है सॉफ्टवेयर. Basically, it will be predicting structures, how structures, different structures, they react to real world forces like stress, strain, temperature variation. So you see, ISRO has lot of list of upcoming missions, major missions like Gaganyaan, Bharati Antariksha Station, next generation launch vehicle we are going to launch, NGLV. So for all these important missions, they will be experimenting different structures, how do they react, so that it can be incorporated into future. Because आप जब इसको भेज रहे हैं, तो जो real life situation है उसमें they will be facing it, like they will be facing stress, they will be facing strain. So how different structures react to all these real life situation. This is the FEAST software developed by Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. FEAST का आपको full form याद रखना है, Finite Element Analysis of Structures. Then moving on to defense. So defense में Ministry of Defense recently has signed contracts with Economic Explosive Limited, then Bharat Electronics Limited and Munitions India Limited for the rockets of Pinaka Multiple Launch Rocket System. जो Pinaka Multiple Launch Rocket System है, we have discussed this thing earlier as well. If you look at this image, this is the Pinaka Multiple Rocket Launching System, okay, which can launch multiple rockets. इसके एक्विजिशन के लिए, इसके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए डिफेंस मिनिस्ट्री ने साइन किया है दिस पार्टनरशिप. सो यू नीड टू रिमेंबर ऑल दीज थ्री नेम्स विद whom डिफेंस मिनिस्ट्री हैज पार्टनर्ड फॉर दिस पिनाका रॉकेट लॉन्चर्स. दे हैव पार्टनर्ड विद इकोनॉमिक एक्सप्लोजिव्स लिमिटेड. रिमेंबर, इकोनॉमिक एक्सप्लोजिव्स लिमिटेड. सेकंड, भारत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लिमिटेड. एंड थर्ड, म्यूनिशंस इंडिया लिमिटेड. This much only is relevant here. They will be providing them different components. ये सब इन्हीं के components के नाम है, इतनी technicalities में आपको जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. They will be providing separate components to be utilized into this manufacturing. Then you have Fort William in Kolkata. See, Fort William and Fort, what is the other name? That is that was located in Madras. I think Fort St. George, if I'm correct. So, Kolkata में this was Fort William, जो Britishers ने बनाया था. It was developed by Britishers. Even before, right at the beginning when they tried to have trade within India before the extensive colonization. So Fort William and the other fort, as I told you, I think if I'm correct, please check it. St. George it is in Madras. So this was created in, so it has been renamed, remember, it has been renamed to Vijay Durg. This Fort William in Kolkata has been renamed to Vijay Durg. The Kitchener House inside the Fort William has been renamed to Manekshaw House, okay, formerly known as St. George Gate. And St. George Gate is now Shivaji Gate. St. George Gate is now Shivaji Gate. तो यहाँ पर these structures have been renamed, remember them. Shivaji Gate, St. George Gate is now Shivaji Gate. Fort William in Kolkata is now Vijay Durg. Kitchener House in Fort William is Manekshaw House. Indices and rankings में reports and indices में first we have his report. Report says gold investment in India have surged. Gold investment from India are increasing. By 60% they have improved, reaching $18 billion. तो सारे figures आपको यहाँ ध्यान नहीं रखना है, बस इतना ध्यान रखना है. World Gold Council ने add किया है. World Gold Council, WGC Council has told that gold investment demand, it stood at 239 tons, marking its highest level since 2013. So this can be important because it is highest level of gold demand coming, right? Since 2013. 2013 के बाद it is highest gold investment demand coming from India. 239 tons. Remember this figure, 239 tons. बाकी बहुत सारे फिगर्स हैं इसमें, ये सब आपको ध्यान नहीं रखना है. अवार्ड्स एंड बुक्स में वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बुक वी हैव. सबसे पहले तो हार्ट्स एंड हीरोज, लाइव्स दैट शेप्ड अस, ऑथर्ड बाय Kulbhushan Kumar. Then next is by ISRO, published by ISRO. Any book published by ISRO is of course of significance for you. So this is Introduction to Finite Element Analysis. Introduction to Finite Element Analysis has been published by ISRO, edited by ISRO chairman DS Somnathan, the erstwhile chairman, Abhi Narayanan hai, right? So ISRO ने इस बुक को पब्लिश की है, दैट्स व्हाई रिमेंबर इंट्रोडक्शन टू फाइनाइट एलिमेंट एनालिसिस. देन फेस्टिवल्स में वी हैव बाली जात्रा फेस्टिवल इन न्यूज विच इज सेलिब्रेटेड टू कोमैमोरेट द मैरीटाइम ट्रेड, पर्टिकुलरली इन बाली. तो this was maritime trade, ancient trade which happened between Odisha and Southeast Asian nations. It is celebrated in terms of the Bali Jatra. Sports, 38th National Games you see are in news. So in 38th National Games, services have clinched the gold medal in 50-meter rifle, 3 positions event. Then 10-meter air pistol mixed event में हरियाणा, सुरुचि and Pramod have struck gold. सुरुचि का नाम आपको ध्यान रखना है, she is winning a lot of medals. Then appointments में you have Dmitry Bakhanov appointed as Director General of Russia's State Space Corporation. Roscosmos के DG अपॉइंट हुए हैं, रशिया के Roscosmos जो है. Then important days में we have February 6, remember, is observed as International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. Okay, so February 6 is observed as no tolerance, zero tolerance for any female genital mutilation. What is the theme for 2025? Step up the pace, strengthening alliances and building movements to end FGM. This is the theme. Person in news में we have Riddhiman Saha, known for his stellar wicket-keeping skills, has retired from all formats of cricket at 40. Okay, so Riddhiman Saha, former Indian wicket-keeper batsman, Riddhiman Saha has retired from all forms of cricket at 40. That's why the person is in news. That is it for 6th Feb. Now it's time for the top 5 MCQs. Let's see. First question. Gold investments in India have recently surged by 60%. According to World Gold Council, gold investment demand stood at how many tons, marking its highest level since 2013. Maximum demand in terms of gold investment since 2013. The correct option would be very good. 239 tons. Option C. Option C is the right answer. 239 tons. Remember. Then next news. Recently, INCOIS, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, has upgraded SARAT to improve the sea rescue operations. What does SARAT stands for? What does SARAT stands for? So SARAT stands for Search and Rescue Aid Tool. A will be the right option. Search and Rescue Aid Tool. Yes, A is the right option. Next question. eNAM platform recently has expanded to boost agricultural trade. Recently, 10 commodities have been included on eNAM platform. You have to tell me which of these following commodities is not in the latest edition list on the eNAM platform. Which of the following commodities is not among them? Yes? None. Very good. All of them are there. Dried tulsi leaves, basin, dragon fruit, wheat flour, all of them are there. So E will be the answer. None of the above is not there. Okay. Next question. ISRO has recently launched FEAST 2025, the latest version of finite element analysis of structures. Who has developed this FEAST software, which is very significant for all the upcoming major missions of ISRO? So please remember, FEAST is going to be important. This is going to be one of the foundation stones for all the upcoming major missions. So FEAST आपको ध्यान रखना है. Who has developed this? What is the full form? What is the role? है ना? It has been developed by Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Very good. Which is headquartered at Thiruvananthapuram. D is the right answer here. Next question. For Pinaka rocket, multiple launch rocket system, Indian Army, for the Indian Army, Ministry of Defense has signed contracts with the entities recently. Which of the following is not there? With whom Ministry of Defense has signed these contracts for Pinaka multiple launch rocket system? किनके साथ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिफेंस ने पार्टनरशिप साइन नहीं की है फॉर पिनाका? यस, टेल मी. वेरी गुड. मजगांव डॉक इज नॉट देयर, राइट? मजगांव डॉक शिप बिल्डर्स इज नॉट देयर. रेस्ट 3 the defense ministry has signed contract with Economic Explosive Unit, Bharat Electronics Limited and Munitions India Limited. Then this is your learning exercise for today. Recently, ISRO has published a book edited by former ISRO chairman Dr. D.S. Somnath and VSSC director Dr. S. Unnikrishnan Nair. You need to tell me which book is this, which is recently in news published by ISRO. The answer has to be provided in the comment section today. I will be waiting for all your answers in the comment section for this question. This is your homework question for today. And the last questions I gave you for 3, 4 Feb and 5 Feb, 2 questions I gave you in the last class. First question was World Interfaith Harmony Week, 1st to 7th Feb. You were to tell me the theme. So, Pratik Kumar, Suraj Patil, you have provided me very appropriate answers. That's quite good. I appreciate that. All of you. So yes, the correct answer is Uniting for Peace. And the second question was, researchers at BHU have identified a new phytopathogenic fungus Apicoccum indicum. What is this responsible for? It is responsible for leaf spot disease. Remember, leaf spot disease. So yes, all these answers are correct. Then I will be waiting for your answers in the comment section for today's homework question. That is it for today's class. I hope you have enjoyed the class. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next session. Till then, have a great day. Thank you.